Bam, 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 dun, ba-da-da-da.
Give folks a moment to filter in.
What's up,
Oh,
everybody?
give folks a moment to filter in. A little feedback. Cool. Remember to record on your end, please.
Yeah, I'm already recording.
Cool. All right. We're
I am
live.
popping right now.
Carl is always our first commenter.
That's right.
Cool.
That's the robot. That's the robot commenter.
Boots. All right, John, should we do this?
Yeah, let's fire off, dude. Let's do it.
We're mass communicate. Mass communicate. Mass communicate.
What's up?
Welcome back to Touchdowns All Day Live. I'm your host, Max Dawson, joined by John Barber. We're both about to hit the road to get ourselves upstate New York. John for the Westcott Theater first, me for Camp Home again. But we're very excited to spend this Monday night with you, Mass Communicating. John, how are you?
I'm great. It is raining cats and dogs here.
It's like 100 degrees in Los Angeles. I'm dying. And I see you with like the big sweater and the hat on.
I'm in a flood zone.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on.
Is the basement flooding or anything like that?
Yeah, there's all sorts of stuff, but it's not coming from anywhere specific. So
okay.
I don't know what it is. Could be a ghost. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. Well, John, happy belated Father's Day. It's nice that you were able to make it home for a few days in between All Good Now and the Westcott. We've got so much to talk about, not a lot of time because you're hopping on the bus like right after we do this. So let's get right back into it. John, let's announce the winners of our Mount Forgotten sweepstakes. We've had 2 weeks of entries, and Kevin Abrams' book, Mount Forgotten, hits booksellers around the world on June 18th, Wednesday. So if you guys recall, we've been hosting a promotion whereby you buy the book, you send us your receipt. I put everybody into a random number generator and I drew 2 names from that. And John, I'm ready to announce the 2 winners of our giveaway. And that's 2 tickets to the Disco Biscuits show of your choice this summer.
That's great. That's a great reward, I think.
So the first of our 2 winners came to us via Instagram. I don't know this person's name. Both of our winners, I only have screen names for. So we're going to have to track these people down. Winner number 1, Mrs. Bobby D. Mrs. Bobby D, congratulations. You are the winner of 2 tickets to the Disco Biscuits show of your choice this summer. Reach out to me at the Touchdowns All Day Instagram account, and we will make sure that you get set up. John, well, if you were in the running here, John, what show would you get the tickets for?
It's a great call. I think probably Atlantic City.
Oh, big 4th of July blowout in Atlantic City.
I mean, I'm from New Jersey. Like I have to go to that show if I'm entering a sweepstakes. It has to have some kind of like tie-in to July 4th at the shore. It just has to.
Well, that's a hot ticket. So, Mrs. Bobby D, hopefully we will see you real soon out on the road. The second winner, again, we have all these names, people who I recognize, people we correspond with, and then the people who win, kicking it over on X. You are the second winner of a pair of tickets to the show of your choice. Congratulations, guys. Thank you so much for supporting Kevin's book. I've heard people have started receiving it in the mail today. You got it? I got to check the mailbox.
Yeah.
Very good. I ordered one for my dad for Father's Day. I got one for Avery. So very excited for everyone to finally get a chance to check out this book we've been talking about for weeks.
Well, I was going to take a couple of them, and go to VIP and give them away in VIP, but I was then I was like, maybe I should try and figure out how to do that without it being, in a cool way. I don't know.
I don't know. You could like make the people at the VIP wrestle for it or something like that.
Yeah.
Some kind of feat of strength, or like who could hold their breath the longest.
Yeah, we could do
Survivor Challenge.
We could do a Survivor Challenge. Like,
let's do it at Camp Home again.
Yeah, like who can drink champagne while
who could hold your arm over the
You would have to drink champagne in every that would be our twist.
Yes, that would it would be a Mike White kind of challenge. So, guys, I'm going to apologize in advance. I have some sort of head cold. Normally, I wait until after the shows to get Wook flu, but I'm going to be sniffling a lot. It's disgusting. I apologize. I sound terrible. But John, you guys sounded, on the other hand, fantastic on the road this last week, and I want to hear all about it. I mean, obviously the big headline is Bonnaroo. Should we start with Bonnaroo? Because that's just like an absolutely huge gig. You shut the festival down, basically.
Yeah, I know. I still can't believe it. I still don't know what happened exactly. But from the time that we were at the show celebrating, and then we went to sleep, and then I woke up, and the whole event was already shut down. I was like, "What happened there?"
Yeah,
I mean, really, does flooding really cause? Is it really that bad? I mean,
I saw footage. Right? It looked terrible. It looked like people's tents were like under 18 inches of water. You don't want to get trench foot. You don't want to be out there with that. I'm sure it's a liability issue, but thank God.
The problem is they don't have a boat for that. They don't have like a 6-inch of water boat. They need that. They don't have like a boat that you can get into, 6 inches of water. It's perfect.
Just a little barge. People should bring little rafts with them to these festivals.
That apparently, yeah. I saw somebody brought a slip and slide to Bonnaroo, and I saw like on Saturday they were still on the ground slip and sliding, but that might have been footage from like 2 years ago. You never know nowadays.
Well, everything that I've heard, and of course that show only came out today. You had the entire Biscuits Nation on the edges of their seats waiting for the recordings from this show. But everyone has been abuzz all day today about how great this Tractorbeam set was.
I can't wait to hear it myself.
You haven't heard it yourself.
I have not heard it myself.
You're in luck, John. That's what we're going to listen to today.
Great.
I got some other stuff too, but I want to hear about this infinity stage. What was
very crazy idea? I mean, if you were to take a hexagon shaped, like a 6-sided thing, like not a little bit less than stop sign thing, and you put another 6-sided thing at one, like Mickey Mouse. It was like Mickey Mouse ears and a beard areas where these round lasers in, sound system in, pits of people. It's like 8,000 people per pit, and then you're in the middle, and it's wide open in the middle, so I can walk around from one stage to the other. You can go. It's pretty crazy. The stage is also round, and the areas are round, and so it was cool. It was everywhere you look. There's like a crowd looking at you, vibing with you. You look over there, oh, there's them. You look over there, oh, that crew, right? And then you look over there, oh, look at them, that is basically, as from a crowd viewing perspective, that's about as much fun as you can have at a show. There's just so many people doing stuff, and they're all right there. It's very cool.
And you're playing to a crowd of people that's obviously a lot bigger and probably a lot more diverse than your standard Biscuits or Tractorbeam set. I know a lot of people are getting their first exposure to Tractorbeam and by extension the Biscuits at Bonnaroo this year. How did you guys go into preparing the set in order to take advantage of this huge opportunity that you have?
I don't think we talked about that enough, frankly. I don't know. We tried to do something really cool for what we think Tractorbeam is, and I think we pulled it off. There was something about the like stress level of the whole event of just like showing up and having like no sound check time. Like we were the Disco Biscuits the night before, and yet we had to cook up this amazing thing out of nowhere. There was something about that pressure on everybody in the band that I thought made for a very cool vibe. And then the show was really, really fun because we cooked it nice, so I was psyched about it, but I have not heard it yet.
Well,
Nobody's heard it.
We're gonna remedy that, and I think that the explanation for why it took a couple of days to get this recording out is that the stage has something called 360-degree spatial audio, which the promoters claim that it is the audio equivalent of what the Sphere is for video. That it's like the state-of-the-art, crazy, like
I would agree
panoramic.
with that.
So Little Rich had his hands full with this. He got the multi-tracks to Rich Steele. Obviously, the downside is we had to wait. The upside is this is probably the best sounding Tractorbeam recording I've heard.
That's what I heard.
I'm just going to go for it, John. I'm going to start out. I picked out two moments with the help of Brownstein, who is ecstatic over how good his keyboard bass sounded.
It did sound really good.
I'm going to start out pretty much at the beginning, 8 minutes in. This is exactly where Brownstein queued me up. This is the hide and seek headed into the Bombs lockdown mashup.
I have no idea who was playing what at this point.
I was just going to say, with the fractal in the mix, it's really hard to hear what's a guitar line.
Yeah, there's no guitar line, that's for sure. Yeah. Yes, it is.
Good call, Kevin. This is definitely Beavis and Butthead for the jam band generation.
That's right. That's right. Why not? They're not doing anything with it. We might as well bring it back. I mean, usually we talk over the jam the whole time, and everybody's like, we can't hear the music. And then if we chill and just let everybody hear the music, we suddenly become Beavis and Butthead immediately. You know?
I'll do Cornholio.
Damn. This band is very electronic.
Yes. And I'm hesitant to even take a stab, but if what I think is Mark is actually Mark.
What part do you think is Mark? I think that is Mark. I agree.
That's wild.
Could be Aaron, though. It could be Aaron. I'm not sure. It's not me. It's not me. Crazy.
I know we're starting with Bonnaroo. We've got some jams picked out from Raleigh as well. But one thing I definitely noticed in Raleigh is that Magner was very clearly auditioning some new sounds and some new samples. And it was really cool to hear them in the context of the set here. This female vocal in particular.
Yeah, I agree. It changes the vibe of the jam for sure.
Yeah.
I think Beavis and Butthead would love Biscuit Show. Would love it. I feel like it sounds different enough from the Biscuits.
Yes.
Frankly. I don't know. Does it sound like the Biscuits to you?
It doesn't. And, Tractorbeam has been separating itself from the Biscuits over the last few years. But I feel like you crossed a threshold on this set. Some of the tech feels just more dialed in. You guys feel more comfortable with some of the gear. Now, the set had some familiar Tractorbeam material like Hide and Seek, and some new Tractorbeam material like this mashup of Bombs.
Oh yeah, we're there already, huh? Yeah, I can hear it in the bass. This was I think Mark hooked this one up. I think he I don't know how he knew this song. I think he was like dropping it in his DJ sets or something. And he cooked up this whole idea.
I mean, it's like someone made a new theme song for us.
Come on. Pretty legit.
Now, I knew that you were happy with the performance. When you came off stage, you immediately started tweeting out looking for the Mixler link.
Yeah.
That's always a good sign. Like, if you are like, I want to hear that right now.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to be mindful of your time, John, so I'm going to...
Yeah, that was good. That's good. That jam's good.
The other segment that Brownstein pointed out for me that he was particularly proud of...
That one came off good.
Later on in the set, and it is in 2024 Song of the Year, Ring the Doorbell Twice.
Oh, nice.
According to Mark, best bass work in the set was during this jam.
Cool. Yeah, the Tractorbeam can be a big bass band if they wanted to. That's what we found out.
Yeah.
This might be that jam that we figured it out in. Yeah, this bass is sick.
Yeah.
Love this.
James Scott raises a great point, which is it's going to be exciting to see some of these potentially weasel their way into a Biscuit set list. We loved seeing some of those other Tractorbeam songs and mashups get their time in Biscuit sets. I could see this doorbell remix being a part of a Biscuit set in that kind of boom slot. Definitely gave yourself a little warm up for this with that Run Like Hell, I Feel Love in Raleigh, which was very Tractorbeam adjacent.
I mean, this is a level Tractorbeam's never been on right here.
Agreed. This is the set that everyone should send to their friends who are hardcore EDM festival heads who don't go to jam band shows. Maybe even this track. John, Kevin Turlap has a technical question. What happens when everyone arpeggiates? Does someone have to take the lead?
It's a good question. The thing about arpeggios is they all have their own little swing. And how do you get the swing right on the arpeggios? And when there's a bunch of arpeggios, like all their swings have to match, or it's just a mess. So when the swings don't match, it's just turn them off as fast as possible. When the swings match, it's glorious. Just glorious. So, it's worth the roll of the dice for sure. But we are aware that sometimes it's a train wreck. Yeah. I love the snare here. Alan's got a killer snare. It's that snap. I love that. You never hear that snap.
John, Alex Moskovich wants to know, all E drums this set?
All E drums. Everything's E. Everybody's E. This Tractorbeam. Even the bass. Mark did not play his string bass. First show ever, no string bass.
Whoa, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't know it till after the show either.
Now look at this. Madness, the magnet keeps attracting me. I try to run, but see, I'm not that fast. I think first, but surely finish last. Last.
It's been fun to hear that for the first time. Like whoever was in the audience being like, who are these Tractorbeam guys? And then they hear that, I think they're probably psyched about that, I would think. So that was a moment.
Would love to hear from anyone in the chat who was at Bonnaroo, or if you know someone who was at Bonnaroo. I was out on the Bonnaroo Reddit on the internet today trying to find people's reactions, and I definitely saw a few people being like, what's this Tractorbeam thing? That was sick.
Yeah, I saw
kind
it.
of wandering on after Insane Clown Posse, seeing you guys.
I talked to a few people in face paint and stuff after the show, and they were they went to ICB and then they went to Biscuits, and they were like, great combo is what they said. They were like, you guys should go on tour together. And I was like,
Hardcore fans.
I heard their set while I was setting up the stage. I thought it was pretty groovy, actually. It was different than what I expected, that's for sure.
I was really impressed that they've progressed from just the bottles of Faygo to they have just buckets of it now.
Yeah. I think it's a pro operation.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I've never been like in the Faygo thing, so I don't know what it's like. I don't know if it's good or bad. I don't know anything about it. But
I mean, I've been next to Joey during the show, and that's wet enough for me.
I know, seriously. He could use a little orange deodorant. You know what I mean?
I'm just going to throw this out there, John.
I mean, biggest drumming Alan's ever done, perhaps, in that section. I mean, that was that was like John Bonham levels of heavy that Alan fit into a house tempo. Wild, dude. That was wild drumming right there. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, put this on iTunes. Put this on Spotify. Release this.
Yeah.
It's already mixed from the multi-tracks.
I know it's done, right?
And then give the stems to some producers. Spangle remix or Crossin remix or...
I mean, there's some disco right here. I mean, just as a day and night remix, this is fire. It's like church disco or something mixed with day and night. It's like if Animal Crossing remixed day and night. This is what it sounds like.
Jordan Nadler was at the first Tractorbeam show in Chicago. I was there too, I think. And it is,
yeah,
like you never would have known at Entourage in Chicago in 2007 that nearly 20 years later, this is what we would be doing.
Well, it was also a Chicago show. It was like 2021 in Chicago. It was Biscuits, where we did a huge Tractorbeam jam. which was the first time like the guitar synth and the guitar arpeggiators removed the guitar from the jam, and it got so, that show, it's on YouTube, and it's so techno, and I was listening back to it and I was like, oh wow, this Tractorbeam thing is its own monster, you know?
Yeah.
Sound. And look at it, just we've just leveled it up, level bass, drums, like it just leveled up every step after that.
Yeah.
Aaron doesn't play the organ. He doesn't. It's crazy. That's insane. So that was 2 songs mashed into one doorbell, right? So this is the problem I'm having is people are like, what's the set list? What did you guys play? What's the set list? And I'm like, I don't know, man. It's like, how am I supposed to text that? Well, we were in doorbell and then we're playing a song called Stephanie, which is this, but it's really a remix, but it's cool. Check it out. And then we went back to doorbell kind of, but then we didn't, and we don't. How do you explain that on a set list? I don't know how to write that to people.
I texted you and Magner on Friday, like, just, guys, what did you play? And you went, bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
Mixes, lots of Flash. And Magner wrote things and stuff. You guys,
what do I say?
I
Yeah, like I don't want my thumbs to get so tired that I can't play the show later that night. But I mean,
everyone wants to know who's Stephanie.
it's a song by Young M.A. It's like an old rap song. Not that old, actually. It's a couple years old, but it's having like a techno remix. There's a bunch of DJs that have remixed it for dance music world. And we just decided to make a Tractorbeam version too because, you know, we were in the dance music show. We might as well do what the dance music thing is. And but our twist is very different from what a lot of other people are doing. Like ours was almost completely different from everybody else's.
Oh, yes. I mean, especially that you were playing it live on instruments.
Yeah, that's also like a weird thing. It's like I feel like to some degree the Tractorbeam show is like it's like a real-time like music production TV show happening in live. Like it's like we're just like kind of producing the music at a moment by moment basis, and instead of like performing it, if you will.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to bring this down because I got jams from other nights, Biscuits jams we're going to listen to. We could come back to some more Tractorbeam if the spirit takes us. But John, that's very exciting. You know, with these festivals, last summer we talked a lot about how you go out there at Texas Eclipse, you go out there at Electric Forest, you've got that, hour and 15 minutes to just blow away a group of new people. Mm-hmm. Better way to do it with the Tractorbeam sound then. I mean, it's just, it's really cool that you have this offshoot now that you could bring to the festivals, and people who never have heard of a jam band in their life, you can bring them into the tent via Tractorbeam.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, yeah, that's what happens to some degree, for sure. I mean, people come in, they hear the band for the first time, they don't know what to do. Most people hear the band for the first time and they're like, "This is insane. I don't know what to do here." It's so intense. But then, you'll hear it a second time, and the second time, you might say, "I don't know what to do here." You might say that second time.
Well, let's.
Third time,
things up. Third time makes sense.
We got you at 3, I think.
Three.
I'm not sure. You never know. You know what I mean? Everybody's different.
Well, let's go with a completely different sound, completely different band, for that matter. This is from June 10th, the Lincoln Theater in Raleigh. Lots of highlights in the show. I already mentioned the Run Like Hell, I Feel Love, which was such a great Tractorbeam warm-up. I love I Feel Love, and I think you guys are playing it better now than you ever have. But the highlight that I picked out is actually from the second set, and it's a short highlight, but it's an absolutely beautiful, melodic, blissful jam. Something that just made me very happy, very hummable melody. I'm going to share that with you now, John. This is the segue from Shimmy into Confrontation. same four guys that were playing the music we just listened to. This is one of those jams that people immediately started messaging me and saying, like, I feel like they're playing something I know, but I can't quite put my finger on it. And I think where I landed is it's just such a beautiful set of changes that it sounds like something you've heard your whole life, even though it's probably the first time anyone's ever played them.
I don't know if it's a Biscuit song. It sounds like something from the 70s, that like soul disco type of song, but I don't know.
Now, a lot of the fans are hearing kind of a spray paint vibe, and there is a moment we'll hear soon where you could have gone right into spray paint.
For sure.
The spray paint jam. Hear Magner's cue track during the jam right now, too.
Oh, is that what that was?
Yeah, it's the Jerry Garcia sample.
Oh, did he probably dropped it. He wanted to.
I don't know if he wanted to. I think he might have been playing around with it and not realizing it was going out over the PA.
I don't know. I think he meant to do that. You know what I mean? I think it's just like there's a lot going on. I don't know if we were supposed to blast into this euphoric jam band moment here. I think that's the surprise part. The sample is maybe what we're supposed to have.
Yeah. What is that?
I might know what this is. I might.
Apart from being very spray painty.
I think this is I can't say what this is, but this is something we're going to do again, but in a different way. And I think we're just taking it out for a walk right now because we talked about it before stage, and I think this just happened randomly. And now here we are in the middle of this thing that we talked about 6 hours earlier, and yet wasn't planned, or we don't even know. We're just trying it out right now.
Is this something you've been working on?
I don't know what it is. I forgot. I forgot what it is. There's so many things. It's hard to remember what's what, but yeah.
But you talked about it.
Yeah, this is like, no one expected this to happen, but then again, here we are in the middle of it type of situation where you're like, oh, okay, well, that's how this goes. Okay, cool. And then we'll do something a week or from now or something where we'll be like, yeah, I know how that goes. Yeah. It's good. It's a baby step. I like it.
Well, I reached out to Joey and I said, here's your next track to write to. But I could just easily...
He should do that.
Yeah. Joey.
Yeah. Good call. Yes. Everyone should write to this song. This song's good.
I could also though see it being something like the changes from Houston changes, or the Portland.
It's different for the Biscuits, that's for sure.
Yeah.
It's different for the Biscuits.
Your way back to.
I think the reason that we did it is because when we were talking about it backstage, we were looking at each other and we were like, how have we played every set of changes in that vein and never played that one? That was the look between the band members. Was like, really?
And here's the spray paint.
That's an interesting twist, And then here we are just jamming it for no reason. It's cool.
Right into comfort.
Oh yeah, look at that. That's right. All right.
And a surprising return to non-techno confrontation.
Yeah. I think that. Do we go back? I don't know what's gonna happen there. You know. Scars is done. I think I just finished it on stage. I sang a couple of lyrics differently on stage at Merryweather Pavilion, and I felt good about it. And that's like, there's so many people looking at you while you're singing. You're like, there's so many people looking at me, and I have to sing this song, you know. And it's like, and then I'm changing the lyrics to see if I like it the other way.
Why not?
And it felt good under that amount of scrutiny, you know. It felt good. So I was like, okay, maybe I'm done with it now.
Well, I don't want to race ahead, but the next thing I had picked out.
Oh, nice.
The Scars from Merryweather Post Pavilion, All Good Now. And specifically the internal jam, because to me, this shows the full potential of this song. The composition obviously is great. This jam, however,
is this the before the second verse, Jim?
yeah.
No.
And arpeggiate everything. Lots of great footage of a huge crowd getting down to the biscuits.
Huge crowd. It was crazy. It's a different job, that crowd size.
Yeah.
I'm on stage like, this is a totally different thing.
Yeah. I mean,
Which is why these jams happen, because you're looking at the crowd and they're like really digging it, and then you're like, okay, if we got them all, if all these people are dancing, let's just stay here for a second.
yeah. Love how you went from a soaring guitar solo, very jam bandy, into that Tractorbeam sound. John, compliments on your vocals from Devin.
Oh, thanks, buddy.
This right here.
Yeah, I'll do a Bowie imitation all the time. Love the Bowie angle of the hidden. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah. This is interesting. We played this for all these deadheads. It was crazy. They were looking at us like, what are you guys doing? No, they were into it. They were super into it.
Yeah. Well, it was an interesting set list. It really surprised me. You come out with Mulberries, some, classic jam band material.
Yeah.
Good rock and roll. And then you go from there. You take them out a little outside of their comfort zone.
Yeah, this is second song of the night. This is like... And this is the jam at this point, right? We've already done both verses, right?
No.
We haven't done the second verse
Before
yet.
the second verse.
Come on, really?
This is why I'm saying Scars is going to be a monster. If you could do this before the second verse,
Dude.
another question from Jordan. Do you guys like the larger crowd experience nowadays, like an amphitheater, or the small club like the Roxy? Well, no one likes the Roxy in LA, Jordan. I can say that outright. But John, you've talked about in the past, like the difference playing to the big outdoor arena, how the sound bounces out through the outdoor environment. What was it like out at Merryweather?
I mean, it's just fun filling a space like that with music. It's very fun. There's a lot of people to look at. As you look into the crowd, there's a lot of faces out there that you can look around and see a lot of different people, and they look different. You can like kind of sometimes say, like, who are they? Like, what life do they live? And it's very much like you can get lost in that in an amphitheater if you're not careful. And then you're like, what the hell just happened? I'm supposed to sing right now or whatever. So you have to you got to stay focused on you and don't worry so much about the environment. And that's really hard to do because the whole fun part of standing up there is the environment, really, you know.
Also, you're playing in the daylight. You could actually see us down there.
Yeah, you could see there were some lights. We had some lights on. Herm had some stuff running so after we played early. Afterwards I go to dinner, right? And the guy there who cooks the steaks came out, made my pasta special just for no reason, except he was like, he was like, what do you want, right? And so I got a red sauce and I got like a nice pasta and I got some potatoes. It was really good. And he brought it out and he goes, I really love the tubes. And I was like, but it was a daytime show. But he's got a TV like above the fridge that's piping the stage into the kitchen. So while he's cooking for everybody, he can see the show. And he said the tubes looked great. So sweet.
And you got a good dinner out of it.
It was awesome. Yeah, dinner was great.
Amazing. Well, John, I mean, it was 3 shows last week. They couldn't have been more different in terms of size, scale, audience, material. Yeah. But the good news is you guys are firing on all cylinders as we head into Camp Home again. And I feel good. I'm feeling very excited about seeing this band that we've been listening to, both bands.
I mean, let me tell you, dude, nothing motivates you like having a baby, dude. It is crazy. If you have a baby and you wake up, you will be the most motivated person of all time. I look at this kid every morning, this little girl, and she just stares back at me with her big eyes. And I'm just like, oh, man, I got to go play extra good tonight. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
I have to shred.
I really have to shred now.
She's like, Dad, shred.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Moral of the story, folks.
Who knew that that's what it would take to get the Biscuits playing the best probably they ever have? And I don't necessarily want to discount. My whole hypothesis, maybe there were higher highs, different moments in the band's career. But right now, this is sustainable. 2009, 1999, someone was gonna get hurt.
You really are in California. You know what I mean? That's the only person from California would use that word. Nobody else knows what that word means.
I don't mean sustainable in terms of environmentally friendly. I mean, no one's going to get thrown out of the band. No one's going to punch something. No one's going to get arrested. No one's going to do anything because everybody is happy and playing well. And
that's true. That's true.
Play well.
I don't know if sustainable is the word I'd use for that. Freeze dried, I think would be more accurate. But
well, John, I wanted to. We're going to keep this to an hour, but we still have 10 minutes. So as we head into Camp Home again, I got to prepare. I'm going to be on the
what are we doing?
All day tomorrow. So rough schedule. It hasn't been officially announced yet, but with Touchdowns All Day exclusive. The nights start out, obviously, with Alan's meditation workshop, about 30 minutes, starting roughly around 5 p.m. every night.
Nice.
From 5:30 to 6:30, we have our little sessions. First, Tractorbeam. Magner is going to show us how he makes what we just heard.
The donuts.
Yeah, it's time to make the donuts. And Magner is that little guy with the broomy mustache, and just going off to make the beats.
I mean, it's not a joke though. We've had some like really smart people working with Aaron on his setup because it is so complex and it has to be so flexible and playable that it's just super unique. So I think anybody who has a keyboard rig or any kind of computer rig, like, you probably want to see that, because there's a lot of smart people who are involved in those ideas. He's got some really fancy stuff over there.
Oh, yeah. And that's kind of the legacy of the original concept of Camp Home Again, which is musicians sharing their secrets with other musicians. But we're also going to make it very accessible to the non-musicians in the crowd, to the fans in the heads, who might just want to ask questions about, a favorite Tractorbeam performance or a favorite patch or anything that Magner does. So we're going to get the mic out. We're going to have opportunities for Q&A. Then after that, there's the Super Jam, and then 2 sets of biscuits.
No, who's in the Super Jam?
We've got Bupper and T-Ham. We've got
I heard.
Karina.
So Tommy Hamilton and Tom McKee.
So we've got
The
like
Booker.
a semi-Brothers
So it's like
Past
a reunion almost, pretty much.
Yeah. So
a Brothers Past reunion.
maybe we could convince them to bust out some of your Brothers Past favorites while they're jamming. I know Karina is going to be there. I don't have the full lineup in front of me, but it's pretty sick. And then 2 sets of biscuits. Night 2, we come back, we do it all again. We get meditation.
Are we doing Alan's meditation again?
We're doing Alan's meditation again. Then we're doing
Alan's meditation is it's a Yogananda style, I believe.
What does that mean?
If you know, well, Yogananda's the dude. He's the guy. So if you were interested in meditation, I would recommend you start with Yogananda before you get like an app or something like that costs $10 a month that you're never going to use. You know what I mean? I would just read Yogananda's book if I was anybody out there looking to get into meditation. Start there. And Alan has Alan started there a long time ago and has been doing this for a long time. And there's just so much wisdom in that style of meditation that I'm sure I'm going to be interested to see what Alan does with it. That's what I'm going to say.
Well, after Alan wraps up, we're going to have the songwriting workshop. We're going to get you guys all out there. We're going to talk about your process. We're going to talk about the challenges of songwriting, how it feels to take something and an idea, a note, a jam, a concept, and take it to fruition and bring it to stage and see, thousands of people at Merryweather Post Pavilion rocking out to it. Again,
that was weird, actually. That specific point of playing like our songs to a crowd that big was a weird experience. For sure.
And
I
your
thought about it
song.
like repeatedly. Yeah, I was like, why would these people want to hear a Biscuit song? There's so many of them. I don't understand why the amount of them suddenly changes whether or not I think they'll like our music or not.
Well, and it also, I think this was, correct me if I'm wrong, the first time we got to do Country Royale at a festival.
Yeah. And apparently those kids all know the song. So it was, they were into it. Everybody was singing along and stuff, but I don't know if they know the song or not because we haven't released it yet. But
it's one of those songs that you hear the chorus by the third time you do the chorus, everyone in the crowd, first time Biscuits heads versus people who were there in 1998. We Could Be Free. That song was written to be performed outdoors at a festival to a group of people with their fists in the air. So
yes, it's a philosophical song about whether or not the Biscuits can play an amphitheater. It is, we could be free. Unlock the city.
If you give me
the key, yeah.
So
I mean, they were singing along. They were into it. They were like, you guys could play here if you want. You can come back.
Yeah.
Do 6 nights.
6 nights at Merryweather Post Pavilion, Disco Biscuits 2026. You heard it here first. Book your hotels. So, and then from there you get the Everyone Orchestra Super Jam or improv session with Matt Butler conducting, and then 2 more sets of biscuits. So it's like jam-packed nights. We're going to be in that Bearsville theater for like 7-8 hours. It's going to be amazing.
And I think when Matt Butler mixes his like West Coast style in with the biscuits.
Style.
I think, yeah, that sustainable vibe is going to get into a sustainable version of the biscuits. And I think the jam is going to be really, really cool. Aaron and I had like a small jam with him, and it was, his head is right where we think the same. So the question is, can we just do it together enough times that the great thing happens, whatever the great thing is going to be.
Yeah. And it'll be a great warm up, lubricate the gears for two more sets of biscuits to close things out. John, the last thing I wanted to ask you, and we're almost at time, but this is the 30th anniversary tour.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of confusion around what do we count as the first Disco Biscuits concert? Because there was XC, there's shows labeled as XC shows into the fall of 1995. Do you remember? Do you have like I know we've talked about the naming of the band, and Kevin has shared his reminiscences of that, and we've talked about the early days, but do you have any sort of memory or recollection of what you consider to be the first time you walked out on stage and were like, we are the Disco Biscuits?
I think, yeah, probably. I don't know if that was as long ago as everybody says it was. I don't it was a while ago. I mean, we had the name fairly early, so yeah. I don't know. It wasn't the name change of the band. We changed the name from other names, so the band was already going. So it's like, I don't know. I don't think we had that like, hello Cleveland moment. You know what I mean?
Do we consider when Magner joined to be the start of the Disco Biscuits?
Probably. I would say even maybe a year after that, but yes, or even a year before that. I mean, we were doing stuff a year before that. I don't know. We make a lot of music. It's just this thing. So, there isn't like a definitive moment, but I think that there's some tapes that made it around from the early days from the tape traders. Yeah. And it ended up that the history of the band is defined by the dates on those tapes.
Yes.
And so that's how this whole thing is accomplished. So there's like a show from 30 years ago that everybody thinks is smoke. And yeah, that's the beginning of the band. So that is it. That's your Hello Cleveland moment. We just didn't do it on purpose. We did it because somebody showed up with a tape rig. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Different reason. The shows were smoke back then every single time, so it didn't matter. Whichever one got taped was smoke. Yeah. I mean, they were just like, oh, I can't believe I can do this with a guitar. I can't believe everybody's listening. It was like that kind of vibe.
Yeah. Well, we're no closer to solving this mystery than we ever have been. Magner claimed to me at one point that his first show, Brownstein, didn't play it. That Brownstein was double booked or had something, a prior engagement.
Yeah, something like that.
I mean, we got to find Ben Hayflick. We
were scrappers back then. I used to be in a 2-man acoustic act. Me and this other guy. We did acoustic shows together, both of us playing guitar. He sang, I took all the solos type of thing, and I did backgrounds and stuff, and it was cool. It was cool. So we were all hustling different little bands back then, and, the Biscuits was like something that we all believed in because we all loved the style of music and like the playing in that atmosphere. So the Biscuits were a priority because of that, I think.
I mean, did you ever think that when you met these guys 30 years ago, that all these decades later, with everything that's happened in your lives, families, kids, just the massive transformation of our culture and society, that you'd still be getting up there with Aaron Magner and Mark Brownstein all these years later?
It's crazy.
Isn't it?
I don't understand it at all. I don't understand it, but it happened. What are you going to do? You know what I mean? Like, life is this mix of stuff. That you just like, there's a lot of things that come at you that you expect and plan for, and there's a lot of things that don't, and there's no way to avoid that in life, I don't think. I think you can have like, this can happen to you or that can happen to you, but I think no matter who you are, half of your years are curveball years, or like a third of your years are curveball years, no matter who you are. So, I feel like here we are back in the Biscuits, like, and then we got a pandemic. That was a total curveball year. So sometimes like the curveball year isn't the first year, it's the second year or the third year, wherever you are. So you do one thing and then the curveball year happens. It's just,
Well,
is what it is.
So much has changed, but the nice thing is that some of the friendships, the relationships have remained throughout the decades.
Yeah, that's wild, right?
Starting with the three of you guys and with Sammy, Alan, but also, people like Kevin, people like Trooper, people who've been a part of this forever. And it's just in our blood. It's just, no one planned on this. And just like you guys didn't plan on being in a band for 30 years, do you think I thought I'd be all these decades later as like an old man still doing this stuff? It's ridiculous. It's just who we are. What we became.
I mean, we're just not as old as we were supposed to be. Like when I was 20, 40 years old was like, what the fuck, dude? It was ancient. And like 60, all these ages were ancient. And maybe I was just looking at it wrong. And now I'm just like, everybody feels young to me. Everybody's having a good time. Everything is young. The family's still together. Everybody's still hanging out. Like it's a fun experience. And we go to all these different cities and groups of, like there's a large group of everybody. Then there's little large chunks will come to this week and that week. And so it gives it this like, every week is a little bit different with who mixes. Some people stay on for 2 weeks and they mix with one group one night, one group the other. I like it. I'm having fun with it. I think Camp Home Again is going to be interesting because it's going to be a real mangle at parts, I guess.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I mean, we're going to be locked in that venue for hours.
Hours. What are we going to do?
And that's how I'm looking at it, that this is a celebration of 30 years of music, of being on the road, of crazy experiences, of, high highs, low lows, everything in between. It's a celebration of us, this community that has formed around the Disco Biscuits. So guys, thank you so much for joining me and John tonight. We both are going to get ready for our trips up to upstate New York. John, safe travels tonight. Wish me luck on the plane tomorrow, that my sinuses don't explode when we hit cruising altitude.
Yeah, but I love it. Here we are on YouTube doing our thing. I love that we got a chance to talk to you all out there and hang for a minute. This is really fun. And, I'll see everybody this week.
Yeah, hope to see you guys either at the Westcott, Syracuse, Camp Home Again, Bearsville, many, many other shows throughout the summer. Keep buying Mount Forgotten if you haven't already. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. And, check out the audio feed, too. We're putting these episodes out with enhanced audio, extra special features in the podcast feed so that you guys can enjoy all of the fun over and over again. So, John, I will see you in New York. I'll see, hopefully, some of you guys out there as well. Come prepared to get down, to ask questions, to celebrate this thing we call Bisco. Love you guys. John, love you, man. And we will all reconvene shortly. Take care, everybody.
See you guys.